Okay, where to buy your guns? Online auctions. Covered most of the gun. There's a lot of them out there. You can shop anytime you want. The downside is when bidding, you have to be like at the computer to get the last minute bids in sometimes when the auction closes. So you have to be watching it if it's 7, 8 o'clock at night or whatever if the auction closes. Unless there's a buy it now option, and usually you're overpaying if you use that. But if you got time to play the auctions and sit there, you can get some buys and you can get some deals. I've gotten some decent deals on guns, and I've found a lot of unique and unusual guns. 9 times out of 10, the only bad thing about it is you got people competing and they'll get ridiculous and bid up on stuff. And you may find yourself paying a bit more than you want to. But then again, the venue, there's a lot of stuff offered out there you won't see at a local gun shop or gun show. So there's kind of a double-edged sword there. Then again, know who you're dealing with. Some of the dealers or some of the people may misrepresent what they're selling. Know the auction rules. If there's a problem, what you can do. Most times when you run into a problem on an online auction, it's kind of a real pain in the ass to sell stuff. Either somebody sends you something that's not described right. They tell you it's got an excellent bore, and you get something that looks like a sewer pipe, and then you got to try to send it back. Some auctions and a lot of stuff I sell is as is, no returns. So ask me the questions, I describe it as accurate as I can, and I ain't going to fool around with, oh, well, there's a nick or scratch in the stock, I want to send it back. No. So it varies, and I mean, I've gotten some deals, I've gotten some unusual and rare stuff on online auctions, and they're another way of purchasing guns. But you got to be careful. It can have its downside to it real bad too. And generally you end up paying a tad bit more than you'd like to. Now, on the other hand, if you're real careful and you spend a lot of time and watch and monitor, you can find deals. Either people don't bid on the gun, or it's whatever. I've gotten a couple pretty good deals. Less than normal, you don't find them every day, but if you put the work into it, it could be a useful tool. But now another thing on the downside is some of the insanity that goes on. And I have here an auction that I've seen, and it's for a Czech Mosin Nagant 91/38 Strojewski 1895 carbine. Now the dealer who sold this gun is very reputable. I bought guns from him. His auctions are fair. Okay? There's nothing wrong with the dealer. And this guy here, if you can see that, the hands are damn shaking crazy today. He posted this starting off at $129. Now what this is this used to be a 91 rifle. And it was converted probably in the 50s or 60s, just an old gun. They cut the barrel down and made it a Type 38 carbine. And then restocked it. I have a picture of it, one you can see. Restocked it and they'd reissue it. And what they used to do is, they do this with these guns to take an old beat up long-ass gun and then make something for a border guard or, somebody out in a forestry patrol. And there's a picture. It's a brand new stock on an old gun. And it's old 1895 receiver, probably with a worn out bore, but for shooting people trying to crawl over the border, it's good. And I'm going to do a video on gun values. To value this gun, the M38 carbines, whether they're cut down like this or actual M38 carbines. There's a place in Florida that I think bought up all bought up a large shipment of M38s. He sells them from anywhere from $450 to $600. And he has all different countries, varieties. I've seen him go, realistically, people will pay about $350 for them. It's about the going rate. I think that's a bit high, but I think AIM had a batch of them, a very small batch of 38 carbines, M38 Nagants, the little short barrel ones that don't have a folding bayonet, not to be confused with the M44. And I think they sold them for $350, and they sold out like again in the blink of the eye. And there's a guy down in Florida that bought them all up, I guess, and Halifax Supply or something. You'll find them on a gun broker, and you can call them up, and their prices are quite high, like $500, $600 mark. So I figured, I did place a bid on this gun. To me, it's worth $250, say. If I can get it for $250, I'm happy. And when you're involved in an online auction, that's the key. One of the key is, I want the gun for $250. And okay, I put a $250 bid in. Say somebody bids $255 or something, I can wait to the end of the auction and say, you know, well, if I want to go 10, 20 more, put a couple last minute bids in. And if you don't have somebody fighting with you, you might win it for another 10 bucks, you might not. The guy might be sitting there watching it just like you. He'll go further, 20, 30, $50 more. So you have to make your mind up how much you want to spend. If you get in a bidding war, then insane stuff happens. Happened on this. This gun, to me, okay, say $350 is the full retail price. Okay, you get somebody else who wants to make a few bucks, they'll sell it to you for $450, $500, say $550. The guy's getting another $200, the guy down there in Florida. All right, where you're overpaying, in my opinion, okay? But he has them, they're for sale, you just call him, pay him the price, you got it. It's up to you. This auction is an example, and it's probably the worst example I've seen. I had the bidding sheet here of where it started to bid. There were 60 bids at the end. Okay? And I'd like to check and see if this is real, but they bid this gun up to $4,050. Yes, that is correct. 4,050 is what that one last bid there was. $4,050 for a, in my opinion, $350 gun. This is crazy. I've never seen nothing like this. I printed this out. I take it up to the gun shop and show them. It's like somebody bidding up a hex receiver 9130 for four grand. I mean, I wish I could sell guns like that, but that's something. I don't know if it's just these three. There's three people that were in towards the end, up over $1,000, which is more than ridiculous for this gun. But three people bid it past $1,000, and I don't know if it's just somebody trying to say, "Well, I got more than you," or want it that bad. The gun is not worth that amount of money. I don't care what anyone says. I don't see it. $4,000, I don't see it at all. So there's some, that was an extreme example of insanity on an online auction. You know, like I said, I've gotten some deals and I've gotten some nice guns at a price that I wasn't, you know, terrified. You know, it's a good price, fair price, say. But that's nuts. So you got to be careful if you use an online auction. They're nice. They're another venue of purchasing surplus guns or unusual or rare guns, but they can get crazy. Okay?